homemade Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm saying Krispy Kreme, it's not exact Krispy Kreme, but it tastes very close. And I'm making the healthier version, which is baked donuts. Let me just start doing what I was planning. So I'm going to start by activating the yeast. And the yeast will be active when you see it's already bubbly and like foamy, and it will take probably 7 to 10 minutes. Just give it a quick mix and make sure the water is warm. This will go here, and the yeast stuck to my... It's okay, I'll just put it like this. All right. Sticky yeast. This is here, and while it's activating, we are going to combine other ingredients. And I have a cup of milk, warm milk. Always use warm liquids when making yeast dough. That way your dough will rise and double faster. That's that. So I have this, and I have my melted Crisco shortening. If you don't have shortening, just use melted butter or vegetable oil. I just find the taste of shortening with breads in general much better, much tastier. But it's, again, you don't have it, use oil or butter. And I'm going to add an egg. I always forget things, and that's normal in my age. Oh. So beat that egg, add to your liquids, give it a quick mix, a pinch of salt, and we're doing this while the yeast is activating. So I'm looking at my yeast and it's not active yet, so just give me a couple of minutes, I'll come back and show you the rest. As you can see, my yeast is active, all foamy and nice. So this can go into my other liquids. And again, quick mix. And I can start on my dry ingredients. I have some sugar. And I will be adding flour as I mix. And I'm going to do this with my mixer. I will probably need about 3.5 to 4 cups of flour, but I'm adding only 1 cup, and the mixer will continue. With this donut dough, you want to add the flour little by little and allowing the dough to absorb all the flour. Alright, I'm just going to start the mixer, continue on making the dough, and when I come back, we'll do the rest. Start adding the flour like half a cup at a time, and just give it some time to mix and absorb the flour. It may take a while, but it's very important. So I'm just gonna finish this dough, not to keep you waiting. As you can see, the dough has come nicely together, and at this point I can just continue kneading a few minutes on my floured surface. Just a couple of minutes to get together. And you don't have to knead very vigorously or add too much flour, just a little bit so this doesn't stick. It's like so. And prepare a greased bowl so the dough can rest a couple of minutes or maybe hour, depending how warm is your space. And just cover it with plastic and this should take sometimes to double in size. So we'll just wait on this and get back and continue. Lightly flour your surface, and the dough is really sticky and very soft, so you may need to handle it very gently, but avoid adding too much flour. And you will roll this out into probably less than an inch thickness. And using your donut cutter, just cut them into these donut shapes. Or if you don't have one of these, just use two cookie cutters, a big one and a small one for the donut holes. This looks good. And you want to make sure to flour your cookie cutter or donut cutter with flour to make sure it doesn't stick. And one by one, because again the dough is sticky, it may stick to the surface, so you want to do it one by one. And I always arrange donut holes into separate baking pan. By the way, baking pan is lined and greased, lightly greased, so it doesn't, because I thought I'm making the fried version. When you're frying, you have to have the donuts on greased surface so you can take them out easily. But this way we're just gonna bake them so they are not moving anywhere from this pan. I'll just continue finish this, and when we come back I'll show you the rest. This will be the last one I'm making, and you always want to save these parts and then gather together them in one piece and roll it out again, so no waste for anything. And if you do everything correctly, you should end up with about more than 2 dozens of donuts. And I'm just gonna shape this one into random shape. Okay, lightly drizzle with oil, because we're gonna cover this to rise another 10-15 minutes, or just brush them with oil, whatever you like to do. Alright, so I'm gonna cover this for another 15 minutes, and when we come back we'll be ready to bake these donuts. My donuts are ready, all nice and risen. I'm gonna bake this in 375 oven about 14 to 15 minutes, and if you're baking 2 at a time, just in midway, halfway of through the baking, just switch the places for these pans. Alright, so I'll be back in 15 minutes and show you the rest. So I ended up baking this one a bit longer, and that's perfectly fine. Now it's time to glaze this, and for the glaze I melted some butter, and of course we need sugar, powdered sugar. Oops. 1.5 cup. If you need to add more later, you can just make another batch, but this should be enough. I need some vanilla extract, a teaspoonful, and very carefully we need to add boiling hot water, so a couple of tablespoons, but start from a little bit and add as you need. It melts pretty quickly, so hold on. First of all, Mix it well and see how much you need. I'm sure you made previously. And if you want to add some coloring, or for the chocolate glaze, I will just melt some chocolate chips or add some cocoa powder. This time I'm just making plain sugar glaze and with some sprinkles. And by the way, for these donut holes, my kids like this with cinnamon sugar, and I'll show you how to make that. You just need the consistency like thick and runny thick. And already prepared my cookie rack, lined with a foil, or use parchment paper because it will be making some mess. Looks good. All right. And you're gonna grab one at a time and just dip it in the glaze and on your cooling rack. And you better do this when they are still warm. And if you're going to use some sprinkles, make sure to do it right away, just like this, so they stick, or else the sugar glaze dries out very quickly, like so. This will be my children's favorite part, and actually I'm gonna call them to continue. That's it. This is for glazed version. And let me quickly show you on these donut holes. I got some sugar, and of course it's cinnamon sugar covered donut holes. That's why you need to add some cinnamon, of course, and I'll add a little bit more. And while these are still hot, because we didn't fry this, the sugar won't stick immediately. That's why I would normally brush this with some oil or spray it with the oil. Just like so. I'm just gonna show you one because I wanna brush them with oil and not use this one. So like this, and just dip it in that sugar. That's it. This will be the sugar glazed one, and I'll continue making this later. And if your sugar glaze starts drying out, just add a little bit more hot water, and that's it. And just mix it and continue doing whatever you do. Anyways, this was it for my donuts. I wouldn't say this is very simple, easy, but it's not hard either. It's a little time consuming, but this is something fun you can do with children and just some kind of activity if you want to make mess in your kitchen. So this is perfect opportunity. Anyways, I hope you join me for my next video. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe. Խորհրդին մինչև լույսերը հանգան ու ձայները լռեցին ու հանգած գիշերվա մեջ ինչ որ բան սրընգաց վենդի պես